That would have been around for him. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Voice of Houston right here at UHN-TV with myself, Dr. Clara Brent, and also Dr. Bobby Mills. We want to remind you, too, that you can watch us on your device and all devices that you have right here. And then there is the UHN-TV streaming on Roku. So try us out. We got more than just us to watch. Bobby, I was thinking about all the publicity that Will Smith is getting and his actions at the Academy Award that caused, it's been a week now and it's still going on. I don't feel like he should be, they're claiming that they want to take his award away from him. I don't think that he should have, that award should be taken away from him because he let his emotions get
the best.
take the best of him. And for myself, I kind of realized that if you're in love, I don't care what you know about him and his family and whatever, but if you're in love and you, especially with your wife, and you want to protect your wife, my husband used to say, I'll kill a brick about my wife. That made me feel so good. Of course, that does not mean that he can kill a brick, and he should kill a brick. But the point of the matter is that I feel confident and protected when he is around. The issue here with Will is that most people are saying that he was wrong, and I don't say that he was not wrong in doing, but he went up there in after an emotional feeling because of his wife's sickness, and he wanted her to feel safe. I believe that's what it was all about, and he wanted her to know that I'm here to protect you and not to go against you, no matter what anybody does or say about you. I'm not going to let that happen if you are feel offensive over it. And then you can just, for protection, to know that he's there for me. Now, it didn't seem right at the time. He should have been punished, and they saying he should be punished and all that. But I'm saying that he should be, well, from my standpoint, he should be a hero. That's where I see it, a hero. Not necessarily for the ones that's being seen. I saw what he had done, but a hero for his wife, a hero that was standing up for her, as a being offended over what was said, and that person, even though he was a comedian, he still didn't feel her pain, and I think Will felt her pain. He felt her pain, and he showed her, I felt your pain, and I'm going to stop that right now. No other comedian is going to get up and make any more accusations about your illness. What do you feel?
Well, let's put it this way, Dr. Brent. God is the only hero, and the wisest man to have ever lived said there is a time and a place for everything under the sun. Now, the time and the place for you to defend the dignity of your wife was not at the Academy Awards.
Well, what do you think he should have done?
The time and the place to defend your wife was not after creating a monumental film about a black man who had the tenacity, the God conscience, and the will to elevate his family and 2 daughters with the talent that he saw in them to a status unparalleled in the field of tennis. And you were a part of creating that. And in so doing, you are now poised to receive the highest honor that individuals can receive for artistic accomplishments in filmmaking. And Chris Rock is a comedian. And usually when you have a scripted kind of event, and that was a scripted event, so everybody was kind of aware of what commentators and everybody was going to be saying. So,
so they sold him a script?
Will Smith's immediate reaction to what Chris Rock said was he laughed. He laughed immediately because he saw it as a joke in relationship to another film called G.I. Jane that was produced and was well received, and simply made a joke about his wife appearing in a sequel to that movie, G.I. Jane, because she finally just cut all of her hair off because of
her
the cancerous disease that she had. She cut her hair off.
Okay.
And made it bald.
And
she could have chosen
to wear a wig, of course.
To wear a wig, obviously. So she made a choice.
And since she did,
made a choice.
But since she did make that choice, I don't think it should have. I heard Chris even say, I love you, and then he went on with the joke. But it seems as if she's going through a hard time. We don't know what is really happening with the person by their facial features sometimes, but what goes on the inside. And I felt like he was protecting her, giving her a reassurance, an assurance that I'm here for you. And I even saw her smile, but it wasn't a good smile. It was kind of a sad smile, and I think he recognized that. However, his emotions went with it. We don't know what's going on with these people in their families. You don't know what's personally going on with their family, how they're fighting this thing together as husband and wife. And we should not look at all the other things that publicly is put out there. But what is going on with them personally? And I think he did the right thing. That was to defend his wife.
The only thing I can say is this. Violence is never the right thing to do in any situation.
No.
Now,
you're right on that.
Jesus was spat upon. Now, you want to talk about somebody being abused? Jesus was hated, abused, spat upon, but he never said.
Talked about everything.
A mumbling word. And his abuse was not for his own sin, because he was without sin. But his abuse was for our sins and our transgressions. And if we are humble enough and godly enough to ask for forgiveness, we can receive forgiveness for our sins, because he that is without sin cast the first stone.
Then Will Smith should be forgiven.
I think that
if that is the case,
I
all
think
of us should forgive Will Smith for his emotional
For his
feelings. Even though we know it was wrong, he knows it was wrong. He because he apologized.
I think that
and we should let it be.
I think he will be forgiven. And as we discussed with Brother Feldon Bonner earlier, the award has been given, and spiritually it can never be taken away. So the appropriate punishment, because his behavior has to be punished.
Well, what would be the appropriate punishment? Suing it for what he done?
Well,
appropriate punishment is not to let him make any more movies anymore.
No, Chris Rock has already said that he's not going to sue him, that he's not filing any kind of criminal charges against him.
Good for Chris Rock.
So the appropriate punishment
that's beautiful
is for him to be banned from in my estimation, to be banned from attending
any other awards?
That kind of ceremonial award, because of his behavior of disrupting it. Because that situation could have turned into a very, very bad.
If Chris Rock had not, because I saw it too, but if Chris Rock had not been a man of discipline, integrity and caring, we overlooking what Chris Rock did, and we're
not overlooking. We know that
but the media is putting more on the slap than on the man that was slapped, who could have retaliated by suing, by filing a complaint against him. He could have retaliated. I give Chris Rock a great big old hand clap. That's what I would do, and a hug too, because most of the time we go against each other so fast, so hard, and we don't forgive each other fast enough. And I feel like Chris has done the manly thing that most black men do, and that is to stick with one another and help each other out. And I know you all don't see that now because we have so many other things happening. But
people understand that
I want to just give Chris Rock a great big old hand.
Everybody understands that Chris Rock has been the rock in all of this.
Yeah, he has been a rock.
Understand that.
Yeah,
because
but it should be stated more so than what we did. Every time I'm looking at the news, every time I'm looking at what's going on, I see nothing but the hand going toward the face, and the embarrassment of a man have let his emotions overtake him. Now the one that should have let the emotions overtake him did not, and that was Chris Rock. Now he should be getting a whole bunch of media. He should be saying, we should be talking about how gracious he has taken this, how well he has done in helping to calm things down instead of raising the bar from where it started to further than what we should be looking at. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think everybody understands that Chris Rock was a very disciplined individual.
And that's what we should be looking at.
In terms of taking that kind of embarrassment and abuse and not retaliating.
I think that's godlike. That's Christ-like. That's a real Christ-like thing.
That's a given. We know that he was, impacted by a devilish act. Ain't no question about that. And we know that in some kind of way there has to be some accountability for what took place on the part of Will Smith. There has to be some consequence. It cannot go unpunished.
You mean unpunished?
Or
he should be punished?
Accounted for. Well,
I would say, why wouldn't it be? Now,
Well, something you cannot do what he did. Slap a person at a formal
gathering.
event where it could have escalated into
Big time fight.
big time, whatever.
Yeah, big
So
time fight.
you know, we were discussing earlier
Wrestling over the stage, all kinds of things
with
could have
Brother
happened.
Bonner that some punishment now, taking the Oscar away from him, that's not really the punishment that is necessary.
Well, I think that's what
Because
they're trying to do.
It is historical. It will always be there that for his acting ability in the production, he received the award. So that image is going to always be there. It's lasting. You can't take that away. But you cannot allow him to walk away from what he did without any punishment, and then have others think that maybe they could do similar or different kinds of things if someone says something that they feel is insulting, or if it's out of bounds or what have you. Because we have to understand, when, again, is an insult an insult? When is an insult an insult?
I think it depends on the person that was insulted. That I feel like it depends on that person that was insulted, and Chris Rock was insulted more than anybody else was insulted. It would have been forgotten, forgotten, if the media had not picked it up and kept carrying it on.
But now, if you're saying that Chris Rock was insulted,
yeah, I felt
more
like he was
so
insulted I was.
than Will Smith, then what would be the remedy for the insulting act on the part of Will Smith toward Chris Rock?
A public apology. A public apology. That's what he should be doing. That's what he did finally. But he should have done that particular time when he was.
Why you think he did?
He didn't do it because he was angry.
He got up and
he was angry.
When you're angry, apologize to everyone except Chris Rock.
He was angry with Chris. He was angry with what Chris had said. He was angry when he did. Now, he felt he was right in his movement, in his actions. He felt he was right because he was defending his wife. Nobody sees that now. He was defending his wife. Now, if you were in that circumstances, I don't know whether you would defend your wife or not, but the point of the matter is that
there's a way to defend your wife and there's a way not to.
But we don't know what that boy was doing. He don't know how many drinks he had been drinking. We don't know what it was going on in his life at that particular time.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think when Chris Rock initially told the joke, Will Smith laughed? He laughed out.
He smiled.
He laughed.
He did a smile. He did this.
Were you watching that?
Yeah, I watched it.
No, he laughed.
He was the thing came from the side, and he did this, like that. And his wife, she even smiled.
I saw him laugh.
Okay,
I saw him laugh.
Well, it wasn't on.
And then after he laughed,
with me, I didn't pay too much.
His wife kind of smiled a little bit, and she looked at him with a cock eye.
Oh, well, I didn't notice that. I know she looked down. I didn't know her looked at him with a cock eye.
That's when he overreacted.
I know she did a little smile and she looked down.
No, that's when he overreacted and then went on stage. But then after he did that, he got back up and he apologized to everyone publicly and openly except Chris Rock. Why?
Because he was, at the time, that's who he was angry with. He was angry with Chris Rock for doing what he had, for saying what he said, and knowing the situation of his wife's sickness. Now that we can have delayed reactions. I don't care about y'all what you're saying about. You can have delayed reactions, and he had a delayed reaction when he saw his wife, and he knew what they were going through with her illness. And we don't know what they're going through with her illness. Well, we only can go about them.
Apparently, she wasn't going through total embarrassment because she's the one that chose to cut off all of her hair, even though she has.
Well, she's supposed to be a proud woman.
Well, what I'm saying to you is there are a lot of women who have various kinds of cancerous conditions and they lose their hair and they choose not to be bald, but they go and they wear a wig and get on down the road. So she chose
not to wear a wig, and she still
cut her hair off to shave her head.
But she went on down the road.
So if that's a choice that you made, you have to live with your what? Your choice. And if people crack a joke or whatever, you have to be willing to what?
To take the joke?
Take the joke.
Nah.
Get on down the road.
Now, y'all don't know nothing about women.
No, we're not talking about y'all.
I'm
talking about reality.
I'm talking about reality. Reality don't know. People in reality are disillusioned. I'm a woman, and I know that you can, whatever decisions
you know vanity when you see it.
Whenever decisions we make, we can accept those decisions belongs as we do not have to
apparently
be approached in those decision making.
And shaving her own head because she got twisted behind someone not really cracking a vulgar joke, but simply saying she would be a good candidate for a sequel of a movie where someone chose to cut off their hair to play a movie entitled what?
But you know,
I
paid no attention to what Chris Rock was saying about her hair. All I heard was that he said something about. Yeah. all I heard it was something that he was saying about her in a military movie or something like that. And
G.I. Jane.
Yeah, but with G.I. Jane or whoever it was, it wasn't that.
That's the movie.
That's the movie G.I. Jane coming out again. Okay, so if it's coming out again, it's going to be played by someone. But the issue is that lady, that the G.I. Jane that Chris Rock was referring to Will's wife, I don't think it offended her in that particular way. I think it offended her the way he brought it about. How he compared her to something that she had decided to go ahead on and let my hair. I'm not going to go through anything else. I'm just through. I'm going to cut my hair and I'm going to wear it the way the natural way. And that was that. But when the reason we do things sometimes is to help our ego, to help our feelings. You know what I'm saying? To bring about some type of dignity to ourselves.
Well, you look at the concept that you just used, ego. You know what ego is?
Mm-hmm.
Ego is an acronym for edge, God, out.
No, I didn't know it was an ego. Well, that's a good one, though.
Yeah,
edge, God, out. Ego is edge, God, out.
That's what ego is. It's acronym.
Acronym for edge, God, out.
When you allow your ego to rule over you, you have what? Edge God out, and you want to be at the center rather than God.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, if God is at the center,
all right,
you then know that he was bruised for your transgression. He took the chastisement that you deserve.
But could that woman also felt embarrassed?
I don't
Could
think
she not
so.
have felt embarrassed? I believe she could have felt embarrassed. Even though she cut her hair off, she did it.
I don't think she was embarrassed.
I think she did. I'm a woman. I felt like she felt embarrassed more than anything else. The way it was said.
Embarrassed, Dr. Brent, she would not have cut her hair off and gone to the event. She wasn't embarrassed.
I'm not speaking of, well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to explain how women think. It's kind of hard to explain to a man how you think. Other men think.
Hard for you to explain how a woman thinks.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, see, I'm talking to you right now, and I know other people are watching, but the issue.
Most men think women think with their emotions.
That's what I'm saying. There you go. There you go. And so, when we think with our emotions and how we make decisions, the majority of the time we will make decisions according to our emotions. We will say things according to our emotions even much. But the point of the matter is, what I'm saying is that Will saw his wife emotion. He felt her emotion, her deep emotion of them being as one. Wife, husband, husband, wife. Being as one, he felt her emotion. He felt her deep sensitiveness to what had been explained as a joke, but really was not a joke to her. And by it being an offensive joke offensive to her, he felt offensive because she felt offensive. And he wanted to make sure that this wouldn't happen again about her from anyone. And I that's what I perceived when it happened. And when it happened, I said, "Oh, good Lord, what's wrong with that boy?" But he had done it. And he came back and made a beautiful speech. To me, he made a beautiful speech.
I don't think most people saw it that way, Dr. Brent.
Well, that's what I saw.
Initially,
that's a lot of folk.
No,
but we probably won't talk the way I'm talking. But thinking.
I don't think people saw it that way. Initially, Will Smith did not see it that way either. Not the way you trying to.
I just explained why he changed his ways and his actions. I just explained why he did that.
No, you didn't. You did not explain it. See, initially, when Chris Rock cracked the joke, he laughed like everyone else because he saw it as
he could have changed.
Wait a minute, hold it.
Okay.
He saw it as an innocent joke about a potential movie role for his wife in a sequel to G.I. Jane. And that's the way Will saw it, and he laughed. His reaction changed.
That's what I'm saying.
It changed.
That's what I'm saying.
When she laughed initially, but then
her feelings was hurt.
No, she laughed too initially because she saw it as a joke. But then what she did was turn and looked at him and gave him that female eye. Negro, Negro, please. And then that's when he gets up.
Well, at any rate,
did you see that? You didn't see that part.
I saw everything. I saw the part where the news media showed that. I did not see it on the television. No, I didn't see that part.
At that time, you didn't.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't even see her rolling her eyes at her husband, saying that you shouldn't have. You watch what you laughing at. Yeah. So I didn't see her do that.
Yeah.
But
go back and look at it.
I'm quite sure they have all the film that will show all the things that went on. Well, you know, I wanted to talk about our restoration, about the black reparation. Thank you. The reparation for the people, black folks, slaves that were brought here against their will, and it's getting to the point. Well, it's going to go to the House of Representatives in the next. Why you say it won't pass?
Well, in
That's a
1863, January 1st, when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation
Yeah.
and decreed
Johnson did
that
that.
blacks, because of their dehumanization, enslavement, etc.,
Right.
should receive 40 acres and a mule.
Give them good start.
Immediately, he was shot in his head by a Southerner,
thought
John
he
Wilkes
was-
Booth. Now, John Wilkes Booth was a Southern Dixiecrat, Confederate.
But
Lowlife.
we got those.
But-
We
but
got
now
those right
listen-
now, though. Come
Listen
on.
to what I'm saying. Why they not gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they had done it at that particular time, the whites in the South did not know how to work and did not want to work. And if blacks had been given 40 acres and a mule,
That's more of a
we
reason
would
why
not-
they ought to pass.
No, you know,
Why?
listen
Why?
to what I'm saying, Dr. B.
Okay.
If it had passed then and the whites knew that blacks would what? Control the South. Because the white folk didn't know how to work. They didn't know how to farm. They didn't know how to grow things. They didn't know how to do this, know how to do that, so to speak.
Not all of them.
So
that was just
so
plantation
most of them
owners.
didn't want to work. They wanted
That
to,
was plantation owners. Those are the rich ones. The rich ones caused all this
yeah,
bull
but all the
con.
rest of them didn't want to work either. They did not want to work because who cleared the land and developed the infrastructure of American society physically? It was
It wasn't
blacks.
black people.
All
of
right.
course. Yeah,
So
I agree
now-
with that one.
So now you have 21st century whites in the Republican Party who are what? Dixiecrats.
Same old, huh?
Same old, same old. All they done is switch what? The label.
Yeah, switch the rule.
So now do you think that these people, see, so now you're talking about 40 acres and a mule. So now you're talking about what? Let's say just
Yeah, I
$1
guess
million.
around about $400,000, something like that.
No, let's just say because 40 acres and a mule back then. Now they gave whites,
All kinds
500
of
and 600
things
acres
of
of land,
yes,
to go out
and do whatever they
west
could.
and all this kind of stuff and so forth. So now, in American dollars, current dollars, what would 40 acres and a mule be? It might be $1 million.
Yeah, if you kind of
So
went to
then,
the thing,
do
wherever
you
you're
think-
going.
Do you think white people are going to give every black person in America $1 million?
Not every
And
black
bring
person.
them, yeah, well, because
know,
your ancestors,
Yeah,
you
and if you're an ancestor, because they are.
you
They,
are ancestors, because
I mean,
every black person
in America, not every black
you
person.
every black person in America, you came from the continent of Africa. You don't know what country you came from, but your ancestors came from Africa. You don't know whether they came from Tanzania, Nigeria, or the Cameroon. You don't know where they came, but you know they came from the continent of Africa.
Yes, we do know that.
And you know that the history of your people in this country is the history of slavery.
We
So
know
then
that.
every person who is black would be entitled to reparations.
That is of America, because you can
That's
be
an American.
because you can come here from Africa and be an African American.
But we're talking about,
That could be a white person being African American.
we're talking about everybody that's born. You got a birth certificate say you was born in America.
Okay, we got it.
So now, do you think that they're going to give every black person that was born in America, let's just say $1 million?
It wouldn't hurt. But
I'm talking about.
no, I know, I understand that you're
Because-
saying because it's gonna,
Because
that's
look at
something that's
what
not
they
gonna
do-
work.
Look at what they do now to keep you from becoming on economic par
Wealthy.
with the average, not wealthy, on economic par with every white person. Look at even how the image right now, 43% of the people who are on welfare are white.
Yes.
But who do they give the image of being on welfare to?
Blacks.
All right. So do you think that they're going to create a process whereby they lift you up out of the condition that they put you in? Because what you in, who put you in it?
They did.
They did. You didn't put yourself in it.
Sure
you
did.
didn't go.
We
and
tried
put no
many
chains
times,
on
and each time they tried to break it
you
down,
didn't
they
go put
would
no
break it
chains
down.
on yourself, on your ancestors. And
No,
bring them
they
over
broke
here
it down even
and
afterwards.
Make 'em work for
50s and 60s,
centuries without
40s.
any kind of pay or dignity and
Killing
so
and
forth.
shooting and hanging. All of those things were going
Now,
on, and they still going on.
I never will forget the first time I went to Jackson, Mississippi. Really went there. I used to, travel, and when I go through Mississippi, I wouldn't even stop. I'd make sure I have plenty of gas in my car.
Yeah,
something to
didn't
eat.
want to stop to
And
eat. Tell
if
the
I
truth.
had to go to the bathroom, I said, God, let me hold it until I get some, get out of Mississippi and get in Louisiana or what have you. Now, I went to City Hall, and it literally shocked me. The Cornerstone building, big old white building, looked like the White House, painted white. Got a cornerstone that says built in 1852.
By slaves.
Material cost $7,500.
$500
Labor costs slave labor.
free. That was free.
Now, they owe somebody in Mississippi.
The ones that built
now you
the
think
their
now you
ancestors.
think they're gonna pay?
Of course, they should, but they're not.
No, that's what
But
I'm
we
saying.
I understand that, but we still gonna push forward. We still going to require that they do something in regards to government, especially the government, because they back these people in all their wrongdoings.
Now,
and,
they gave reparations to the Japanese.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I
they're not gonna
talked
get
to
no
some
reparations
Japanese,
to
and
no
they were
black
saying
people.
they didn't do it. They didn't get no reparation. So we don't know. I don't know because I wasn't born at that time. But I read in history books that they got restoration. Restoration.
And who did?
Restoration. Japanese.
Reparations.
Yeah.
Who?
Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they put them on in
they-
camps.
they
But
put
when
'em in,
when the war was over, they gave them some type of money. I don't know how much it was, but they gave them something.
They were giving
Our
reparations.
race of people right here in the United States, as blacks, it seems as if everyone that are not born in America, that have come to America, we were the only ones that came to America
against our will.
against our will, and that's what they need to look at. And even though they had put the Japanese Americans in
internment camp.
Yeah, internment camp. But when the war was over, they made restitutions, and they didn't bother them anymore. Like trying to tear down their buildings, trying to go in there and destroy, bombing their homes, putting people on fire, hanging them. All of that has happened to us since slavery, and it's continuously going on each and every day with the police as the head honcho. That's all I can say. Head honcho, and it's going on and on and on, and it's not being anything done about it. That's why they always on the Black Lives Matter. Everybody's lives matter. If that is the case, then everybody's lives should be our lives should be more acceptable to restoration than anybody else's. That's what I say. That's what I'm looking at. How are you going to do something for the descendants of slaves slavery that were brought here? What are you going to do about that? I fought Johnson, who was the vice president under Lincoln, who made just wiped everything out the way and did just nothing after Lincoln was killed.
Yeah, he did something. He allowed the.
What did he do?
He pulled the Union soldiers, ultimately out of the South, and.
That was that didn't help. That didn't help
Well,
at
that's
all.
what I'm saying. He did exactly what Southerners wanted done.
Well, he was one himself. He was a
Southerner.
Yeah, he was a Southerner that was in the Republican
Southerner.
Party, and well, we're gonna have to close at any rate, you all. We love you. God loves you too. He definitely loves you. Want you to keep your papers in your cars now. Let's keep Houston clean. Bye from myself and Dr. Mills. Take care.
Yeah.